Don Moen is a well-known and respected figure in the world of Christian worship music. He was born on June 29, 1950 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and has spent his whole life writing and performing songs that have had a huge effect on the Christian faith. As a child in a Christian home, Don Moen was introduced to music from a young age, and his parents encouraged him to follow his dreams. His songs are still sung by millions of people around the world. He liked music and learned to play the piano when he was 6 years old. Early on, his talent was clear, and as a youngster, he quickly became deeply interested in worship music. With Don's first songs and plays at church, it was clear that music would be a big part of his life. After high school, Don studied music at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was there that his relationship with God grew stronger, and he felt called to use his singing skills in ministry. After graduation, he went on to working for the well-known Christian record label Integrity. Music helped him become famous in the worship music community. His job at Integrity Music let him write and produce many songs that are now staples of modern worship. One of Don Moen's first big hits was the song, "God Will Make a Way." It was written during a time of personal struggle and became an anthem of hope and encouragement for many believers. DA's career as a worship leader and a songwriter, the song's message of faith and trust in God struck a chord with listeners, and it quickly became a hit in churches all over the world. This success led to a string of albums and worship projects that solidified Don Moen's place in the Christian music industry. Throughout the 1990s and into the 2000s, Don's impact grew steadily. His albums, such as Give Thanks, Praise, and A Celebration, and Hearing the Angels Sing, were huge hits in churches and helped to change the way people thought about music, how modern church music sounds, and how it is put together. His soothing voice and ability to write simple but powerful songs of praise made him a beloved figure in the world of Christian music. He is often credited with helping to start the contemporary worship movement, which focuses on getting closer to God through music. During his career, Don Moen has worked with many talented musicians and artists such as Israel Henderson, Michael W. Smith, and Tommy Walker. His reputation as a leader in the worship music community. He is also known for his work as a leader and as a songwriter and producer for Integrity Music. His ability to lead worship has taken him to churches all over the world, where his live worship events have brought together thousands of people in heartfelt praise. Don Moen is a musician and songwriter, but he is also very dedicated to helping the global Christian community. He has traveled a lot to play his music for audiences around the world, and it has been translated into many languages. He has worked with many ministries to bring attention to and raise money for a wide range of good causes, especially those that help children and families in need. The lyrics of Don Moen's songs show how dedicated he is to ministry. They show how much he loves God and wants others to feel God's presence through worship. His music is appealing to people of all backgrounds and religions. Praise the one true God together. In addition to his musical contributions, Don's message is simple. Worship is not about a type of music or a certain place. It's about the person coming before God in humility and adoration. Don has written a number of books, including the Don Moen Worship Collection and Worship with Don Moen. These works are useful for worship leaders, musicians, and anyone else who wants to learn more about worship. They serve as both inspiration and guidance. Even with all of his awards and wins, worship continues to lead people all over the world to get closer to God through song. Don Moen stays humble and focused on his calling. He often talks about wanting to serve others and honor God through his music. In interviews, he has said that he sees his job as a way to help people connect with God in a deep and personal way. He stresses that the point of worship is not to praise the musician or the music itself, but to lead people to God and make it easier for them to meet Him. Don Moen's life and work show how music and worship can bring people closer to God. He has made huge contributions to the Christian faith, and his songs continue to inspire and uplift Christians all over the world through his music, leadership, and service. The praise world will never be the same without Don Moen. He has had a huge impact on generations of Christians who want to honor God through song, no matter what style they like. Someone else. One of the saddest and most life-changing events in his life happened out of the blue and changed the course of both his personal and professional life. In the early 2000s, just as Don Moen's career was reaching new heights, he lost his beloved wife Laura to a serious illness. The news shocked the whole family. Laura had always been a strong supporter of Don. Don's rock of strength and support started to show serious signs of getting worse, and soon the doctors confirmed the sad news. Don always put his family first, and the thought of losing the person he had spent his whole life with was almost painful. He and his wife had spent a lot of time together, raising their kids, traveling the world, and helping others through their music and ministry. He was grateful that Laura had always been there for him, through the good times and bad of his work. Don had never thought he would have to deal with the reality of losing Dawn as his public life got harder. As Laura's condition got worse, Don had to balance his work and personal life. His ministry and music brought comfort to many, but he found it hard to keep up with the demands of his job while also trying to be there for his wife and kids. He would often say that during this hard time, his music was both a source of comfort and a reminder of his deep faith. Those things had always kept him going, but now his wife was sick and he didn't know how to deal with the mental toll it was taking on him, while still using his music to help other people. The trip was long and painful, and he tried his best, but following a long illness, Laura passed away. Her death was the worst loss Don had ever felt, and he felt a deep emptiness. His grief was immeasurable, and he fought to come to terms with the loss of his partner in the ministry and life. He always thought that music could heal and bring people closer to God. But after Laura died, Don felt cut off from everything that had been so familiar to him. Music that had once given him strength now seemed far away, and the words he had sung so many times seemed to echo hollowly in his ears. During this hard time, Don found comfort in the support of his family and close friends. His children, who had been there for him throughout his career, came together to support him, all around him, showing him love and support. Even though the pain of loss had shaken D.A.'s faith in God, it remained a guiding light for him. He found comfort in prayer and, over time, realized that even though he could never replace the love and companionship he had shared with Laura, God was still with him. One of the most important parts of Don's healing process was the support and love of his close friends and family. They were the ones who felt his pain, listened to him during the worst days, and reminded him that he, of the strength of group, sharing God's love through music, had always been a way for him to heal. Writing new songs, even though it was hard at times, helped Don work through his grief and find ways to express how deeply he hurt, while also honoring the love he had shared with his wife. He learnt that his grief could be a bridge for others who were going through loss, and through his music he could give comfort and hope to those who needed it the most as the years went by. Don's sadness. While the pain slowly went away, don't forget about Laura. He carried her memory with him every day and found ways to honor her by dedicating his work and ministry to her memory. Even though the pain never went away completely, Don learned to live with it and let it shape him in ways that deepened his faith and understanding of life and loss. Today, Don Moen is known not only for his powerful worship songs, but also for his incredible strength in the face of personal tragedy. Is one of deep sadness, but also of hope, healing, and the strength of family and faith. He often talks about how the most important thing he learned from his grief was how important it is to share both the good and bad parts of life with the people you care about most. He says that losing Laura taught him that the only way to find peace is to accept the pain with others. The help of family and friends and the constant presence of God in his work, Don keeps sharing the world with his music, his story, and his faith. He is often asked to talk at conferences and other events where he uses his own problems to help others who are going through similar things. Grief and loss are inevitable parts of life, but they don't define us. How we choose to deal with them through faith, love, and the help of others can turn our sadness into something meaningful and beautiful. Don Moen will always feel the pain of losing his beloved wife, but he has learnt to live with that sorrow. Peaceful and meaningful work and the love of his family, his story is a powerful reminder that we are not alone, even in our darkest moments. The love and support of those around us, along with the healing power of faith, can help us move forward even when the road ahead seems impossible to navigate. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. See you in the next video.